Adrian McBean joins us. He is the coach of the development side, the Peter Jackson Development League side for the Blues. Welcome along.
Thanks very much.
Now, earlier today, take us through the game. We may as well talk about the game earlier on today.
Yeah, it's a disappointing loss for us. Pretty much, obviously, we had the advantage of the win in the first quarter and didn't get enough out of it. Came in, I think we were about goal and a half behind at quarter time, and then sort of held them off that first 15 minutes of the second quarter. It was pretty much a 0-0 score there, and then they got on top of us in that second quarter, and third and fourth quarter got their run going and certainly hurt us on the turnovers.
I know you're a massive supporter of the Development League competition.
Yep.
Obviously a smaller competition to what we have here at the senior level.
Yep.
How does it work in an alignment situation? You've got the alignment with Carlton, obviously,
Yep.
in being able to get enough players on the Northern Blues side of things to be able to form a team week after week.
Yeah, well, obviously the start of the year always starts off positive in regards to the numbers. But we sort of head into the back half and you sort of look at Carlton's list at the start of the year and you're halfway through and you've sort of lost, someone like a Daigan, a Bootsma. So blokes are already off your list, then you lose, a cruiser for the year and a Cam Giles and injuries and suspension. So this time of the year can be pretty hard. So we're right at that list at the moment, and we actually played 2 Northern Knights kids today that hadn't played before. So it obviously presents opportunities as well, but this is where it can really test your depth. So it's hard to hold on, but we've been pretty lucky over the last 2 or 3 years that we've really kept our list anyhow.
Adrian, I reckon one of the toughest jobs in footy in this state, or probably around the country, is coaching a reserves team at the elite state league competition level.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your coaching and playing background, first of all.
Yeah, so I've been doing the Northern Blues development for around about 5 years now. Before that, I did a lot of work with the Calder Cannons in their bottom 8 squads, their 16s and 17s, and pretty much just had a local background myself, so I played local footy at a club called Maribyrnong Park. Got involved through a couple of friends through the Northern Blues and worked pretty much close with Carlton as well. We have a kid every year that stays with us, one of the draftees and so forth. So, yeah, it's a good experience.
One of the great challenges for the competition, which I'm sure you've seen in your 5 years at the helm of the Development League, is trying to hang on to those good young players who might come out of TAC Cup football, have a look at the VFL for 1 or 2 years and perhaps haven't made the development or the headway yet to play VFL senior footy, and local clubs and country teams with plenty of cash come armed with less of a commitment but more of a reward. How do you go about trying to mentor some of the younger players to perhaps hang into the system for an extra year or two and start to realise what we've seen the likes of a Brent Bransgrove perhaps do and carve out a pretty good career?
Yeah, I suppose it's pretty much all about development, so we try and do a lot of development with them, and it takes a certain type of player, of course, whereas with the local footy, we are battling against that cash resources, but obviously with our alignment, with the facilities we've got, they get good facilities in regards to coaching right through to docs and physios, and we get to train at Carlton every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so we get their facilities as well. So it takes that type of player who really wants to get something more out of their career. And it's difficult to manage, of course. I just lost my captain last year who's gone back to a local side after 4 years. Well, realistically, he's probably getting paid 10 times as much as what he's getting paid at development level. So it's finding that special character who's going to hang on for a little bit and understand. And there is a pathway there for it. Obviously, my first 2 years, I had Ahmed Saad, played a lot of development football as well. And then last year, we had pretty much for the whole year Jake Ballard as well. So he got drafted. So, it is a hard one to mix.
And I guess over the time that you have been coaching, you would have seen the young players coming through. Which one's given you the greatest satisfaction that you've seen walk into the club through the development side, spend a bit of time with you, and then make his way into the senior team and maybe beyond from there? Yeah,
probably I would say from an AFL level would definitely be Ahmed Saad. First 2 years he struggled to actually get a pre-season with us, but he knocked down a door for that long and he got that opportunity. He kicked bags of 6 and 8s in a row at development level and then just kept on going at it, gave him an opportunity at senior level, and he pretty much hasn't looked back as well. So, and then we've got one running out today, which is Sam Catapan, who sort of at the start of last year,
so far, hasn't he?
He's a good player, and he's played a lot of development footy last year, got his opportunity. I think he played round 1 with me and hasn't looked back, and he's probably been in our, I'd have to say he's probably top 2 or 3 best and fairest with us at the moment.
North Ballarat opted to not obviously go with the Development League team this year for various reasons, and we're seeing only 9 teams in the competition at the moment. Some uninformed people, I think, are pretty quick to sink the boots into the competition, but you've seen it for 5 years. The standard's gone up and up and up every single year.
Yeah, I think it's gone up every year as well. And obviously the crux of, like, if you look at a Williamstown today, you can sort of see the bigger bodies with, they've had players in the system for 2 or 3 years, and maybe beyond that with Conway and Casley and Critchley. They've recruited quite well, and the competition keeps stepping up and up. It's disappointing for North Ballarat to leave the competition. Because I think it sort of made it a bit difficult, and I think this year it's what's become a little bit more difficult as well. Is as we head into the back half of the year, we've got a Final Four. I think we should have a Final Five or even a Final Six to get as many clubs playing finals footy at development level as possible, so we can have a look at and see what we've got out there. It's about obviously developing, and AFL clubs having a look to find that extra player, and I think we've let that one go. So I think that's disappointing, but hopefully next year. We keep the 9, and it's a hard one to work out because we had 5 buys this year, and I think even at one stage I think we played 3 games out of 6 weeks, and that's where we hit the local stuff, and it's really difficult. We've got blokes who want to go back and play local, get $1,000, and then we've got to try and maintain. We've done that pretty well, but it is difficult.
It is that tricky thing, and it also stretches the resources of the club because for example, Northern Blues take on Essendon, which don't have a development league side. So they play at Preston or at Vizzy on one day, and then the next day you've got to go and play a development league game, say at Sandringham or Port Melbourne or something like that. So you're kind of having to split up your resources.
Yeah, it is hard, and it also makes it probably a long week sometimes when when we're asking these kids to be here Monday night, Wednesday night, Friday night. They stay here, they watch. We play, and then we sort of try and get them back to watch the seniors on a Sunday, and it's a really hard thing to balance with their work and their university in regards to their commitments as well. So it's difficult, but it's a great competition, and I hope it's around for a long time, but only the VFL can decide that.
What about for yourself? Are you going to be around for a long time? What about your own coaching development? Do you have aspirations to maybe land a senior role at VFL level or something like that?
I think so. It's just trying to get that mix right. Obviously, when you've got a full-time job and you're just trying to balance the two as well. So I'd look at a VFL senior job for sure, but it's just trying to find that right mix. And obviously with the linemen, it's difficult because if you're coaching the line side, you've got to be full-time. So you've got to get that balance right. But for sure. It's been good. It's been a great experience, and the alignment with Carlton works really well. Communication's really good. It's a hard one to get right in regards to development of Carlton and ourselves, but we certainly both work it the right way.
Oh, it's a wonderful setup you've got there too. Gary O'Sullivan, one of the finest administrators you'll see going around, does a magnificent job down there.
Job,
Thanks for coming up and saying hello. Best of luck for the rest of the Development League season. Only a handful of rounds to go with that as well. But great to have you up here as part of our coverage today.
Thanks for your time.
Adrian McBean joining us there, the Development League coach of the Northern Blues.